Hi, my name is John Gardner, and my job today is to give you an explanation of the ageLOC platform. Now, first, I want to give you some information about NewSkin, which is the company that has developed this ageLOC platform. NewSkin is a company that last year, for instance, turned over, in Australian dollars, over $3 billion in 50 countries. And they're a company that's been traded on the New York Stock Exchange for the last 22 years. So they're a public company. That means that they can't tell lies. Otherwise, the FDA it starts getting all over them, all right? And so we, in the same vein, are not allowed to tell lies. We're just going to tell you exactly what's going on. So with a turnover of 3 billion or more, they can afford to have a very large research and development section, and that's critical to the growth of NewSkin. They have over 70 scientists, most of whom are PhD level or above, in two different facilities, one in the US and one in China. Now, NewSkin have had a history of innovation ever since they started. They started in 1984, 34 years ago, with a philosophy of all of the good, none of the bad. In other words, they were only going to put good ingredients into skincare, which is all they had at the time, all right? And they only had about 5 or 6 products that they started with. But the whole idea of it was to put in all the good ingredients and none of the bad ingredients. And most skincare products in those days had stuff like mineral oil and beeswax and lanolin in them as fillers. And NewSkin decided we're not going to do that, we're just going to put good stuff in. And the good stuff actually started to work, and they started to go really, really well. So, a little bit of history about NewSkin there. Okay, about 8 years ago, they developed a collaboration with a company called LifeGen Technologies. Now, LifeGen Technologies are the recognized gurus in genetic aging. They have been studying genetic aging for over 30 years. And so they've got this extraordinary amount of data that is incredibly useful in what we're going to talk about next, which is the ageLOC platform. Now, 8 years ago, they decided to collaborate with NewSkin, and they developed this ageLOC platform. Now, I can't give you the scientific stuff and that's all available, by the way, but the idea of this is just to explain to you, the distributors in NewSkin, how to explain ageLOC to the general public, because it's worth explaining, because it's an extraordinary science. By the way, we own this science. NewSkin bought LifeGen Technologies a few years ago, and that means that we own the IP. We own the trademarks, the copyrights, we own all the research, we own all the data, which means that nobody else owns it, which means we have an extraordinary advantage in business. We own all this stuff, and so nobody else can get it. So somebody trying to do what we do is going to have to start 30 years ago, all right, and or start now, and in 30 years' time, or maybe 15 years' time, they'll have the science, all right. But then it's all trademarked, so they can't touch it anyway. So it doesn't matter. Okay, ageLOC. We're going to talk about your genes. This is about genetics, all right? We're going to talk about your genes, and the study is called epigenetics. But in real terms, this is how I explain it. When you're 20, 25 years old, your genes are working at their absolute peak. You are 10 foot tall and bulletproof when you're that age, 20, 25. And which means that you can trash your body 7 days a week and, go out and carry on every night and have 20 minutes sleep on a Sunday afternoon. Just go and do it again. Try doing that when you're my age? No way, I'd be in hospital with a drip, all right? So, what happens when you go past 20, 25 years is that your genes, as you get into your 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, your genes start to stop working as well, all right? And they start to decline in what they call expression, or how they work, okay? They just don't work as well. And what happens is that, and aging has been described as when tissue damage exceeds tissue repair. So the ability of your body to repair the tissue isn't as great as what's happening from a damage perspective from your aging. So what happens when you get from into your 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s is that you start to wrinkle and you start to go grey and you start to put on weight, which is not good. And you start to, your bones don't work as well and your muscles don't work as well, as your internal organs don't work as well. It's called aging. And eventually the whole thing, and you end up under the turf. Okay, what Nu Skin, and this is the really exciting part, what Nu Skin and LifeGen Technologies have done is they've developed this ageLOC platform. Now, ageLOC is not a product, it's a platform. And from that platform come lots and lots of products. And we've got quite a few on the market right now, and they are really selling well because they do stuff, and I'm going to tell you what they do. So, what they've done is they've been able to monitor genes over a period of time, well over 30 years. And they've been able to figure out where the aging happens. And what they've been able to do is, using this ageLOC science, and using botanical ingredients, stuff that comes off trees and out of the ground, all right, it's not nasty stuff, they've been able to work out a way to reset genes from old patterns back to youthful patterns. So you're sliding like this, and they've been able to stop it and reset the genes back to youthful patterns. Now that happens on the skin, on the body, and also internal with a product called Wispan and a couple of other things. And I got to tell you, it is mind-blowing. I'm 67 years old, and I have the energy of a 30-year-old. Now, that's worth doing. And I've been told that I don't look 67. Now, that's a matter of, objectivity or subjectivity. But I got to tell you, I feel a whole lot better than I did, say, 15 years ago. So there's something going on here, and that's how ageLOC works. Now, the next part of this is going to be, we're going to talk about one device that you can use 2 minutes twice a day in the shower, and that is going to make your skin a whole lot better just by using this device in the shower. Talk soon.